I did a video where I was talking about maxing out and how the job markets, for the most part, max out. Now, I covered this actually some years ago, but let me just, since there's new people, I'll just cover this so that you kind of know what I mean when I say this. When you look at the job markets, you can flood any market. And the analogy I give is something that I saw when I was younger. So this is the benefit of experience here. Don't let the gray hair fool you. That comes with some benefits. And one of the benefits is me actually kind of knowing shit. And so when I grew up in Seattle, there was a business called ITT Technical Institute. And there was a huge push in the 90s for CAD, AutoCAD drafters. Okay, and I know I've told this story at least 24 times now. But what happened was, back in the day, there was tons of advertising how you could make a lot of money in AutoCAD, right? Okay, so it's computer-aided drafting. Well, there wasn't very many people, and companies had this demand, but they didn't want to have the wages too high. So you don't want to have the wages too high. So what you do is you have another company, this ITT Technical Institute scam company, do a bunch of advertising and say, hey, come and learn CAD, and you're going to make $35 an hour when you get out of here. You know, this is in the late 80s, early 90s. $35 an hour was a lot of money. So the school got flooded, right? That's what everybody did. Everybody flooded in there to learn this. And then 18 months later, there were so many people in that market that it became like a $6.50 an hour job. I'm not even kidding. That's exactly what happened. It became just a job that you did for $6.50 an hour back in the day, which was, even back then, not a lot of money. So this is happening across all the other sectors out there. This is happening everywhere. This is why, of course, I mentioned the degree thing. The people who are going to dude, it doesn't make any difference what degree you get anymore. It really doesn't matter any longer what degree you're getting in anything anymore. Even medicine. Medicine is flooding, as evidenced by the fact you've got doctors telling little kids to chop their fucking cocks off and pretend they're girls. This is nonsense. There's not enough sick people, which is why they're creating sick people, right? We all know that. We all know they're trying to create sick people. Well, then you have, it's like you create a market and then you have, a way to, make money off of it. That's kind of how this works, okay? So these fields are flooding everywhere. Now you're like, okay, well, but Axel, look, you paint a horrible picture. Who's hiring? Well, you're not going to like this, but here's the truth. You know who's hiring right now? Look at all those jobs right now that all those fucking illegals coming across the border, okay? All those fucking illegals that they're importing into the country, what jobs are they taking? See, right? They're taking all those. Well, but I don't want to pluck chickens. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to drive trucks. I don't want to do any of these jobs that we have all the illegals doing. We want the illegals to do it. Right? This is that who will till the field, Well, the slaves, of course, right? I mean, that's where what is it? Praxagora, I think is the play. I think that comes from anyway. So, but it's like, well, but master, who will till the soil? Well, it'd be the slaves. Well, this is exactly what's happening here. Okay, so those are the jobs. Now you're like, well, but those jobs don't pay anything. They're supposed to pay more. They're supposed to pay a lot more. In fact, they're supposed to pay enough for you to actually be able to live and be a part of the economy. But they don't, and the reason they don't is because those companies can't exist without cheap labor. They have to have progressively cheaper and cheaper and cheaper labor. This is because the currency is worthless. Remember, they've already seized, for the most part, the means of production, right? And I say this for my commie followers because they're like, well, yeah, we need to have the state take over. No, that would be just as bad. It doesn't matter if it's the state or some giant corporate entity. It's the outcome is this. If you are part of the working class, the outcome is the same. I don't give a flying fuck who wants to claim they own the means of production or who has vertically integrated so much so that now nothing can get done in terms of small business. That's what you're missing right there. Which again, like I said, and I've been over this a dozen times, what are the 5 things you look at? Number 3 of the 5 is small business. Are your small businesses performing? The answer right now is a resounding fuck no. There you go.